I was just looking inside the fuselage. It's pretty grim in there. Do you think we should do something about the, BODYS?
What are you spelling, man? Bodies?
BODIS.
That sounds like a good idea.
Hey everyone, Seanie B here. It's been a while, but this is the first video during this really long break. And if you remember at the end of last video, I asked what you guys wanted me to do the most during this break, and the most popular choice by far was a Season 1 recap. Now you may be wondering why this is only episode 1 of Season 1 and not the entire season as a whole like I said I would do in 1 or 2 videos. Well, there's just way too much info to go over in Season 1 and 2 videos. This way you get more videos constantly in 24 episodes during this break instead of waiting a long time like you just did. And we can go over every little single thing that happened, and we couldn't do that in 2 videos. Now this is very important. If you're watching this right now and you haven't seen Season 1, 2, 3, and 4, stop watching this. They will, I repeat, will have spoilers in them. But for those of us who are caught up, it's a pretty cool way we can look back on Season 1 and see all the secrets and stuff that we had no idea what they meant then, and how they relate to the future now. And aside from this video, most of the other videos that I'll be doing for Season 1 won't be this long. They'll probably be around 15 minutes, I'm guessing. Okay, before I get started, time for Fast Reflex Awards. Here's the 20 winners from last time, since there's 2 videos. Now I'm going to be doing the same thing for these recaps, so if you don't know what that is, if you see a secret image like now, just comment where and when the secret images are, and you'll win the prize knowing that your skills are better than other people's. Now the most important thing to remember for this specific episode is that the producer said in the pilot, this very first episode of Lost, that there's supposedly something really big that we all missed that we'll know by the end of the show, and when we go back we'll go, I can't believe it. So be paying attention for it while you're watching this video. If you have any idea of what it could be, comment and let me know. Okay, so the whole show starts off with Jack opening his eyes, but it starts off with his pupil being huge and quickly going to normal. And I don't know about you, but this whole scene with Jack, his pupils going big to small, was almost exactly like Locke in Season 4 when he had that dream of Horace, where his eyes, his pupils at least, go big to small. And if you remember that whole vision, Horace was in a loop basically. So Jack's in the jungle away from everyone else that crashed, and the camera pans out. Now the interesting thing here is the black thing next to Jack. A lot of people have been discussing this, and they think that it could be the same baton that Ben has when he moves the wheel at the end of Season 4, and when he's sent into the desert, the one that he beats the Arabs with. But it also could just be a dark piece of wood or bamboo. To me it kind of seems a little big to be Ben's rod. What do you guys think? Jack also seems like he's in the same condition as Ben is when he time skips into the desert. An idea could be that when Jack regains consciousness, he's actually just gone through Orchid traveling. This scene is almost identical to the one in The Shape of Things to Come when Ben wakes up in the middle of the desert after he just moved the island. In both cases, both Jack and Ben are shaken up, and they both are dressed up in a way that kind of contrasts with their environment. Like Jack's in a suit surrounded by nature, and Ben's in a parka in the middle of the desert. Then Jack hears a noise and sees Vincent staring at Jack, almost like the smoke monster staring at Echo. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the Missing Pieces episode, specifically the one with Vincent and Christian. And if you haven't, I'll put the link down here. Click on it. You really need to see it. It's pretty cool. But in that episode, Christian calls Vincent over right after, or maybe even right before, the plane crashes, and tells him to go wake up Jack, that he has work to do. When I was watching this, I couldn't help but think that this may be even the last scene of Lost, if it was a loop like I talked about a little bit ago. And what's up with Vincent actually understanding Christian, going over to Jack, and following orders, waking him up? Vincent, to me at least, is one of the most mysterious characters on the show, always popping up at the right times, disappearing for large periods of time, especially when Ben's around, finding dead people everywhere. And Vincent should have died in the plane crash. He should have been in a kennel locked up underneath the plane We know that the island can manifest itself as animals, so who knows? And Vincent wakes up Jack, so he stands up and pulls a little vodka bottle out of his pocket. We later see that Cindy, the stewardess, gives him 2 bottles of vodka on the plane right before the crash, and he puts one in his pocket. Then Jack starts running through the jungle, but right before he leaves, he dashes past a single white tennis shoe, and it's hanging on a branch. They focus on it for a few seconds and play the dun 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 music. Now I think we have to assume that the shoe belongs to Christian Shepherd. We see him wearing white shoes when he appears to Jack in Season 1 on the beach and in the jungle, and later in Season 4 in Jacob's cabin, and also in the hospital in Jack's Season 4 flash forward. And also Christian is wearing just one white tennis shoe in the beginning of the end episode, but the producers have hinted that the shoe could belong to John Locke, so who knows. So Jack gets to the beach and sees all the survivors from the plane crash screaming and yelling. Why Jack was alone in the middle of the jungle, we aren't sure why yet, but I get the feeling we'll find out at the very end of Season 6. Also on a side note, be looking out for people who don't speak. The producers have told us that we've seen Jacob before, but that we'd never heard him actually talk. So I can only narrow it down between Aaron, Vincent, Hanso, the DeGroots even, or some random extra. So if you have any idea, let me know.